Welcome back to the channel. Today we are heading down to Florida. I have never played some Florida poker. Heard the action there is crazy. I get into the most fun, crazy session that I've ever played. Some 2-5-10, some stand-up game. Without further ado, let's get into it. Seminole Coconut Creek, let's go. Welcome back. I can't believe we're 67 vlogs in already. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. We look down at pocket aces, ace king suited, a couple really good hands before I settle in. To start this session, we're playing 2-5-10 because there is a rock. If you win the hand, you have to straddle to $10, so basically 5-10, I guess, and look down at king queen offsuit. We decided to open this one up to $25 and we got one call. We flop a king, c-bet for $25, and he makes the call. It's this player right to my right who's shuffling chips right in the frame. The turn is definitely far from ideal, but when he checks to me, there's a flush draw out there, so I think we still have to bet here. I bet out for $60, hoping I don't get raised because I'll just puke all over the table, but my opponent does pretty quickly make the call, and I am, I guess, relieved or puking to see the queen on the river. I don't know how I feel about that. There is now a one-liner to any jack making a straight. He definitely could have a lot of lesser two pairs, and the flush draw bricks out. So some goods, some positive, and some bad, some negative. Who knows? And when he snap checks it over to me, I think we have to go for a little bit of value. I did debate just checking it back, but I think that's a bit nitty. I think he can call down pretty light because the flush draws missed. So I bet out $105 and get immediately punished as he throws out $400. I haven't played on this table for too long, and I think about this for a little bit and decide to fold face up. He doesn't show. It's just, oh, he's a jack here. Nice hand, buddy. Probably queen jack. Alright, then we get right into a massive hand with king 7 suited. Yes, king 7 suited. I am in that $10 straddle, and the player to my left opens to $40. It folds to me, and I decide to flick in the call, and oh my goodness, that is the world if I've ever seen it. We flop a flush draw, a gutter. I check, and when he decides to bet out for $55, I did debate putting in a massive raise here. We definitely could push our equity. We could get it all in with a massive draw, but after a long think, I decided to just flick in the call, and bink, we turn the nuts. What else would we expect? Running hot already in Florida. I love this place. I check, and I'm praying that my opponent continues, and I am happy to see that he does, and for a pretty big size, he continues for $160. Alright, our decision would be much easier if we were in position, but we are out of position here, so that means if we just flat call and then we check it to him on the river, there is a big, strong possibility that he just checks it back. So I did debate for a long time thinking about raising, but I think we want to play this really sneaky. I decide to just flat call here, and we're going to a river looking for a clean one, and no, of course that is not what we get. It's a 10. I guess if I'm gonna be picky, it's one of the better cards to pair the board because, I mean, just not too many combinations of hands that he's going to be betting the flop and the turn that are beating us. I mean, there are a few, but not too many. I did debate leading here, but I continue to set the trap. I check, and now my opponent bets $100. What? This makes our decision really interesting. I don't want to just call. That is extremely nitty. So I do think we have to raise here, but that does open the possibility of him jamming over the top, and then we just want to puke all over the table. But sometimes you have to stick your foot in the water, put yourself out there, and risk the horrible decision. I was really expecting him to just bomb this river for like $400, $500, and I would have just snap called. No sense in trying to go for a little bit of extra value then, but this size just is really weird, but raise is definitely the decision here. So I do eventually decide to raise to $350. Obviously don't want to get snap called, don't want to get re-raised and jammed over the top. But after a long time, he flicks in the call. We show the king 9. That means I think we're good, and we are. I have no idea what he had, and things are off to an amazing start, up a couple $100. We got it all back from the last hand. On to the next one. Now we look down at ace 9 of hearts. I decided to limp for $10 and the rock makes it 40. I decided to flick in the call going to a board, and we flop a 9 second pair. But it's a bit concerning when the initial pre-flop raiser just bets out for pot $80. A little bit weird, but I mean, we can't just fold yet. So I flick in the call, hoping to not see too much aggression, hoping to turn trips, 2-pair. And no, that's not what happens. Not a good card here. It's an 8, 8, 9 beats us, ton of stuff. But he checks it over to me, and I check it back. Going to a river, which is now a queen. Another gross just card that we did not want to see. He checks, I snap check it back. I say I have a 9. He says me too, and shows Jack 9. Okay, take this one down, and on to the next hand. Playing a bit shorthanded now, we pick up pocket kings. We open it up to $35, excited for some action, and everyone folds. But hold the tears, because the very next shuffle we get kings again, back to back. That's never happened to me. Our boy Biddy, who came and met us down here, he lives down here, he opens it up to 40. We put in that nice juicy 3-bet, excited for some more money, and he snap folds back to back, not even seeing a flop with kings. Nice. At this point, the 2-5-10 rock table broke, so we head over to a regular 2-5 table. This is what the chip stack looks like, and buckle in, because this table was nuts. Tons of action coming. All right, maybe a little bit better of a view now. We look down at 5-7 suited, and oh my goodness, we flop these stone cold nuts. The flop goes check, check. He checks it to me, and now I decide to bet $35. He thinks for a little bit and decides to make the call, hoping to see flush draws break, no board pair, and boom. Being extremely picky, we do not like that river, as now we're chopping with any 5. If he somehow had 5-8, he's now beating us. So not the best, but hey, we can't always get what we want. He checks, and now I bet $80, and after a short think, he flicks in the call, and we are good. He mucks. Wow, we are running good today. Let's keep it going. All right, little did I know, but the 2 players involved in this hand are crazy action and continue to play basically every single hand. We look down at pocket 10s. There is a $10 straddle. We're in the big blind. There's a raise from under the gun 240. We decide to 3-bet it up to $135, and now the straddle cold calls the 135. What? And now that obviously brings in the initial raiser, who also makes the call. So 3 ways, 3-bet pot. Let's see the flop. Ace right in the window, 7-6, all clubs. Not the ideal flop. I take a quick peek. We do have the 10 of clubs, which is very, very interesting. So holding the 10 of clubs, having this range advantage, I do think we have to see a bet here, so I make it 110, praying to just see 2 folds. Don't really want to battle here, and they both fold, so nice to take it down. Like I said, we're running pretty good today. Let's keep it up. All right, now it's getting a little bit later in the night, and as you see that button in front of me, we are playing the stand-up game, but sitting down. So it's the knit game, I guess, is what the cool kids are calling it. Everyone gets a button, and if you win a hand, you get rid of your button, and the last player with the button has to pay everyone. We are doing $25, so it's around like $200-ish. We are also straddling. I'm in the $10 straddle, and we look down at a beautiful hand, ace queen offsuit. Under the gun, the player to my left opens it up to $35, and when it's back to me, I want to go big. I make it $160, perfectly fine with taking it down now, getting rid of my button, and securing myself $25 more, and more importantly, not having to pay the $200. But he spoils my plan. He decides to call. Okay. Gonna have to hit an ace or a queen here, and no. The flop comes 6-6-4 though, which is pretty interesting because he shouldn't have much unless he has a pocket pair like 8s, 9s, 10s, 7s. They're all going to think that they're all right on this board, but nonetheless, I have to c-bet here, so I fire out $110, just like I did with the pocket 10s, crossing my fingers, absolutely hoping, praying that we could take it down right now, but he spoils the plans once again and makes the call. So we're going to a turn, which is a 7. Pretty dicey because, like I said, pocket 7s are definitely in range. But, I mean, again, it's basically like he only has 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, and maybe jacks, and that is it. I don't think he's going to have any 6s. Don't think he's going to have any straights. So I think if we fire big here, it should get all pocket pairs very nervous, as I can have aces, kings, queens, jacks. So I turn up the heat and I bet $210, right back to praying and hoping that we can just take it down. But no. He makes the call once again. Oh my goodness, are we just absolutely smoked? He only tanked for about 15 seconds. Seems like he's got something quite strong that he does not want to let go of. So I really do think now we need to hit an ace or a queen, and no, it's another low card, not good for me. So unfortunately, I decided to become a big wimp. I debate firing huge, going all in, I think for about 20 seconds. I check it over to him and he goes all in. What a good move. I was debating it. He might have snapped me off with a pocket pair. Seems like he's action. Spoiler alert, he is action. And I decide to fold. So a run good for the day stops for now. But don't worry, some good hands are coming. Alright, just 5 minutes later, before I even have time to lick my wounds or think about how dumb of a mistake that was, we look down at pocket fours, call a pre-flop raise, and oh my goodness, we flop 444, the magical savior. It's my username on all platforms. If you guys follow me everywhere, you know 444 is my shit. So nice to see it bail me out here. I check it to the initial raiser, praying that he bets, and he does. He bets out for $35. I just flick in the call. I'm worried that he doesn't have too much here, as this board obviously does not favor the pre-flop raiser. There's not much he'll have here besides an overpair, which I'm praying that he has. Nonetheless, we're going to a turn, and it looks good. I check, hoping he bets, and he does. He fires now for $100. I think now is the time to spring the trap. The turn brings in a flush draw, but I don't have to go big. As you see his stack, he does not have much money left. I decide to basically just min-raise him, a hair over a min-raise. I make it $225. And he thinks about it for a long time, starts counting out all of his chips. I'm praying he jams, but no. It's so funny, those that have followed the channel for a long time, you know I always battle with the OMCs. I make a lot of OMC jokes, and this guy was very old. He was like 80 to 85 years old, but I rarely come across these people. He was action. He was trying to put his money in and gamble. One of those old men that's just like, you know what? Fuck it. And I love those guys. He just calls. We're going to a river. It's a king. I'm hoping that that's a good card. Maybe he was just floating me with ace king. I don't know. Fingers crossed. That's a prayer. I'm just praying he does not have pocket kings. I decide to go all in, and he snap calls me, and we show the set, and we are good. Oof. We fade the pocket kings, but he had king 5, so that river was amazing. He turned an open-ended straight draw and then just rivered top pair and decided to say and call. Like I said, the action here is great. This guy's here to gamble, and let's head to the next hand. Alright, good news and bad news and medium news. Okay, well, the bad news is we started the stand-up game again, even though I wanted to leave because I had a flight at 8 a.m. the next morning. Okay, but the good news, or I guess I don't know, you know, whatever. We have ace-7 offsuit. We raise it up to $40, praying that everyone's going to fold, and that's the exact opposite. We get 1, 2, 3, 4 callers. So I'm like, okay, great. Fuck me. There's no way we're winning this hand. I'm just gonna lose this damn stand-up game and get all annoyed and then have to leave. But oh my goodness, wait a second. We flop top pair, top kicker with the nut flush draw. Oh my goodness, this is the perfect board. It checks over to me, and I decide to bet pretty big like I would with a bluff here. I bet out for $135. I'm hoping that maybe one player calls, maybe we can hit a heart on the turn and cooler the king of hearts. I wouldn't be too upset if everyone folded and we just win the stand-up game, we don't lose it. And I guess this is where the medium news comes in. We pick up one call of $135. It's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, there are things that could be worse. And we see a, I guess, brick turn. And now, when it's on me, we want to apply max pressure. Hopefully, it looks like we're bluffing. We're just trying to steal this and win the stand-up game. I decide to go all in, and the player snap folds. We show the hand, get rid of that damn button. We do not lose it this time, and rack up a nice little win here from this pot. Alright, little chip stack update. I don't know if you guys could tell from all these hands, but we're up almost $1,000, maybe $1,100 at this point. Things have been going very, very swimmingly. This new table has been awesome to us, and that brings us to this next hand with King Jack offsuit. It's just me and one other player. We decided to play the stand-up game for the 3rd time. We just played it back to back to back. So it folds all the way to him in the small blind, I believe he was. He decides to go all in. I was the $10 straddle. It's an awesome play, and it's only like $200, so I can't just let him win the stand-up game, right? I decide to flick in the call, and he's like, oh no, that's not good.
All right, I'm gonna have to call you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, probably. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what he has, what we have to fade, but I show the king jack and he's like, yeah, I need some help. The flop comes ace high, it's ace 7-6, so I'm like, okay, he definitely just caught a 7 or a 6. I mean, we were ahead with king high, so he couldn't have hit an ace, but he's like, nah, that didn't hit anything of me. So I'm like, okay, the turn's a 9, and he quickly goes to grab his cards, and I'm like, you have to be kidding me. What just happened?
He turned it. Oh my fuck.
The turn's a 9, and he goes to grab his cards like he just won the lottery, and I'm like, you have to be kidding me. What does he have? He shows 5-8 offsuit for the turned nuts. Are you kidding me? All we had to do was fade some BS. He went in with 5-8 offsuit, and oh my goodness, that's how we lose the stand-up game. We wind up losing it, so we have to pay everyone $25. So we quickly go from up 1,100 to bam, minus 200 from the hand, minus 200 from the stand-up game, and oh my goodness, we are now only up $700, and unfortunately, it's now 11 p.m. Like I said, I have a flight at 8 in the morning, so I decide to rack up. We book a $700 win. Look how beautiful this casino was. I'm so happy that I got to come out here. Again, shout out to Poker.org. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and peace out.